Hello. Today, I thought I'd share with you about a recent blog post that I did over at jolienstar.com. If you've not visited, subscribed and stuff, get over there and join in the action. Anyway, I did this recent article about SEO for bloggers, okay? In particular, sharing some tips about how to improve the SEO for book reviews. Okay, so I thought I would share it with you today. I don't know if you can see that. That's over on the website. So anyway, most of you will probably already know that search engine optimization, otherwise known as SEO, plays a huge role in the success of individual blog posts, but also your blog in general. It also applies to social media and things as well. SEO is important in general. So these things go across the board, and book blogging is no exception. So I did this post basically just to go through different ways to make your book reviews SEO friendly. Okay, so Google as a general wants blog posts that deliver on what they promise in their title. Okay, so it's important that you get your keywords and things right so that you result well in search engine results. Okay, so in the case of a book review, your keywords are things like book review, the title of the book, the author of the book. That's like your main stuff. There are other additional things that you'll want to add. We'll get to that later on. But anyway, so when you're thinking about where to insert your keywords, the first place is in the title of the post. Okay, it's no good saying, this is a book review if you don't actually mention what book you're referring to. So it's a good idea to have the title of the book in the title of the post. It's also a good idea to include it in the permalink for the post as well. So a lot of the time I would have book review and the title and author of the book, which would appear both in my title and in the permalink for it. Okay, and well, I've seen, in fact, on the post, there were some comments about the fact that they'd heard people say you need to get more creative with your titles. I don't actually agree with that from an SEO point of view. Also because it's like an industry norm that you'd have book review and the title and author of the book as your title of your post. It's expected, and whilst it can be great to mix things up a little bit, you don't want to go too far off base, because it's not going to work with the algorithms and things. And like I said, Google likes when a post delivers on what the title is saying. So they want to see that connection organically coming through in the post and things. And if you're going to come up with something which might be incredibly creative but doesn't necessarily link back that well to the fact that it is a book review about said book, then you're going to lose points there. Anyway, so also in the body of the post, you don't want to keyword stuff. It should, feel like natural flowing text and things when you're talking about the book and the fact that you're reviewing it. But that's quite easy to fit in anyway, I think, during a book review. And particularly you can use your headings and your subheadings within the post to get your keywords in there. So, and that's where you can get more creative with your titles and stuff, mixing it up. So I go like title of the post, book review for blah blah blah, and then whilst you're in it, you can have the subheadings about this book was blah blah blah. I don't know, something. Now I'm thinking of my feet here and I'm blanking completely. But you could have like a subheading about this book will keep you up all night, or something like that. That's okay to have within the body of the text of it, because you've already got the thing, and then it has the connection between the two, you see. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, use your headings and your subheadings to get more stuff in as well, and then you can be a bit more free and stuff on the actual text. Now, something else you really need to consider is the meta description for your post as well. This is a HTML meta tag, which gets added to every page. And it's a very short description. It's only, in Moscow, I think it's 150 characters, the space that you get. And this is also generally the text that shows up when you do a Google search. You have the link with the title, and then you have that little bit of text that goes with it. Now, so this is important that you get your keywords in there as well. But also you want to have something in there that's going to make people want to click through to see why they should be looking at your book review as opposed to another post about the book. So in that, like I said, you don't have much space to do that, but again, keywords, but you can get a bit more creative with it to, show your personality a bit more and get people clicking through. Now, also in the post labels and tags, here's where you can start adding in some more keywords, okay? So in the case of book reviews, this is going to be stuff like if you've used the title of the book and book review as like your keywords for the title and things, then here you'd want to include other tags like the author name, maybe the name of the series of the book if it's from a series, the publisher's name, the genre. So if it is a thriller, then here's where you'd want to add a tag that it is a thriller. Or if it's a romance book, you'd want to click romance novel and things like that. You could maybe have some variations on it as well. You also might want to add in other books by the same author if you've read them or you're planning on reading them. You could also categorize with tropes or character traits, things like that here as well. So just like expanding and adding extra stuff. Another thing you want to consider in your blog post is your images. So you want to make sure that your images are optimized for the web as well. This means so it's a good idea. You should have at least a couple of images on every blog post. Also, because even social media and things is visual, it has a really high element of visual, and people want to be able to pin a blog post and they need an image to do that. It works better if they have an image and stuff, and it also plays a big part in your branding and things like that, but I'll do a separate video all about branding. But anyway, so yeah, you want to have these images on there, but also you need to consider the fact that having lots of images or having big images can slow down a site, and where search engine optimization comes into play, the faster a site is in loading, the better. So also from a point of view, if I click onto a site and it takes longer than like 30 seconds to load the page, most of the time I'll just click out, because we're in a culture now where it's like you want it that instant, so you don't want to wait around for it. So you want images that are under 70 KB as like a general rule for sizing. It's also a good idea to have like a couple of different sized images on the post as well, because some, for example, work better to share on like Twitter or Facebook, whereas others are better for Pinterest, for example. If it's a longer image and things, they tend to work better there and stuff. So you want to make sure that you have those in as well. And also you want to make sure that you add an alt text for each image that you upload as well. And this is, again, putting in your keywords there as well, because also when you do searches on Google and other engines like that, you could do like an image search as well. So in the case of a book where people are searching about the book, there's going to come up a load of the same book cover or whatever. But if you have a more personally branded image or whatever, that can catch people's eye better there as well. But again, you need to have the alt text in with your keywords and things so that your image shows up in the search result as well. It's also a good idea to name your image with your keywords as well. So, for example, it would make more sense to have, so I'm just going to grab a random book off the shelf here. So if you have a Percy Jackson book, it would make more sense to have the image name as Percy Jackson book cover, okay, as opposed to just like the random numbers and letters that you get when you randomly produce an image, saving it to your computer. So yeah, definitely put your keywords in the name of the file as well. Again, that's also something that works better on social media and things as well, so it's a good idea to change the name of the file where possible. And something else that you need to think about is also your internal links to related content, because this is something that, you know, all the spiders that crawl the web like to come up on as well. And it's also something that is going to help with your bounce rate and things like that on your site as well, is if someone's visiting your site and they're interested in a book review, chances are they're looking at book reviews or for that specific book or that author, or just like book reviews in general. So it makes sense that you would include internal links to other book reviews that you've done in the same genre. For example, if you are reading, if it's a book review for a romance novel, the person that is reading the novel and the review, and therefore is the reason why they've come to your site, is probably interested in the romance genre in general, you know, and so they'd be interested to see your opinion on other books in that genre as well. So it's a good idea to click to another review for a romance book that you've done, or if you're reviewing from a series, for example, use the Percy Jackson, since I put that one up, also because I love Percy Jackson. But I've done several blog posts about Percy Jackson, so I've done a review for every single book in the series. I also did a post about why I'm obsessed by the Percy Jackson series and things like that. So I would include those as internal links in each of the reviews as well, so that anyone who is dropping by my site and is checking out a review for one of the Percy Jackson books would easily be able to find my reviews for the other books in the series as well, and the other posts that I've done related to the series. Okay. So yeah, it's just a good way of getting some link juice to your older posts and things as well. So something to bear in mind. So anyway, yeah, that's it for today. I just wanted to share this. Like I said, I put quite a lot of work into the blog posts that I do over on my site. Again, if you want to hop on over, I see I got major glare going on. But that's the post that I did for SEO for book bloggers, how to improve SEO on book reviews. Okay, so I hope this is something that is useful. I decided that I'd do like the video format for the blog post as well, because I think it's something that's important. I know a lot of like booktubers as well who are like me, and they do booktube, but they also have their blog where they feature their book reviews and things as well. So it's all stuff that is handy to keep in mind, and it can make a really huge difference to the traffic coming to your site, but also like your overall DA score and like the more technical stuff like that as well. If you go into like all the algorithm stuff, it can make a huge difference. So I thought I'd share it here as well. I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you would like me to do more videos like this, then please do let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you have any comments about the content that I've shared during this video, then I would love to hear back from you as well. If you've got your own tips about how you SEO book reviews as well, then I would love to hear from you. Also, if any of the stuff that I've mentioned is stuff that was new to you and you hadn't like even considered before, I know on the blog post there was a lot of people that hadn't realized how important it was to rename the image file with the keywords and things in it. So if that's you, then let me know in the comments here as well. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.